right, welcome back, everybody. It's Nimitator with Switch. How's it going, Switch?
Yeah, man, great to be back.
And I guess we're going to just jump in. We're gonna take a look this week at well, I don't know. What are we looking at, Switch?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I think we got the first match in the 2 week epic Vaalbara versus Syndicate finale of the Winter Series 2016. I
Yes.
think.
So this is the first game of the first week's matches. I guess it was 2 rounds of matches, 2 rounds of games, and this is the first round and the first game in that round. And if I had a winter series is the name of the map. And gee, I don't know what territories, name of the game type. Let's go ahead and introduce the people playing in this. So we got GKG, who actually joined up late in the tournament. He's here to captain lead Osmodian's team to victory. Looks like Renwood probably going to be an observer. Arsenic, Garrick, Limp, Kron, and Kruniak are going to be rounding out the team. Kruniak, of course, being given a lot of units. I'm thinking 3 tro probably. He's kind of I would say he's probably the go-to thrower for that team. They're going to be playing the Syndicate opposite them on the map in the east. Going to be captained this game by Rat King, Akira, Evil Jake, Demolition, Paris, Adrenaline, and Kirk is actually joining as a substitute, I think.
No, Kirk is on the team.
Kirk is on
Uh,
the team. Is that so?
he's on the rosters. Yeah,
Was he
a
was he always
surprise.
was he always on the
Yeah,
roster? Really?
yeah.
No,
They added him way back.
I did not know that. So he's finally showing up to prevent his team from being eliminated, and they're going to be challenging Vaalbara. So we'll see Vaalbara in the west versus the Syndicate in the east. It's going to be an interesting game and series, I guess. It's going to be a long series comprised of 2 rounds. So, what do you notice about the trades? Have you been able to analyze any of this?
Yeah, well, this was very interesting. I mean, Rat King traded instantly. He was done within about 10 seconds, and as you can see, he did a nice little split, giving Adrenaline a bit of a heavier unit set with the melee or trial force there. Whereas GKG went for lots of warlocks, and and yeah, like you pointed out, he's holding most of the units on his team.
Yeah, it's got 36%, and everyone else on his team has like 4%, 9%. Really interesting. I'm curious what they have. Just artillery, I'm guessing. So he has, I think I counted 6 warlocks, twice as many as Rat King traded for.
Yeah, very surprising. I assume he's got some kind of brilliant strategy, which we'll no doubt see unfolding here.
Interestingly, we don't see anybody trade for malls. I think everybody realizes that Mercuridia are have a little bit more utility than malls in the in a melee battle. Although they're kind of a it's kind of a risk since Mercuridia do tend to go berserk at low health. So if they're standing around your artillery, it might not be so great.
You'll notice they're wrapping around each other right away. So you got Evil Jake and Adrenaline coming through the north, and then GKG is pushing south.
Yeah, it looks that way. So Adrenaline actually has looks like 4 tro. I don't know if you mentioned that or not, but that's probably more than anyone else in the game.
Yeah, the mid Kruniak is going to be in trouble here. I mean, Adrenaline's coming down with this massive force.
Meanwhile,
They've
GKG has 3 tro, trying to put pressure on the mid. Yeah, Kruniak does look like he might be in trouble. GKG did take out a white. Although, nice Warlock shot on Evil Jake. That's kind of a misplay there from Evil Jake, taking that on all of his Mercuridia there.
Yeah, and look at them. They're just facing off against each other. This is going to give GKG time to do something, which, I mean, he needs to either get out of there or get back in a position.
Well, I don't know. Rat King's keeping him at bay with his Soulless, so he hasn't been able to really push through there.
Yeah, it's a nice blocking move.
Adrenaline's still keeping up the pressure. He's able to dodge most of those. Oh, here comes a shot. Warlock shot. Doesn't connect on anybody. Paris tanks it with his one tro. Adrenaline taking some more fire. Oh, got hit by his own teammate there. Doesn't do very much damage, but yeah, go ahead.
GKG's finally walked back around, so
Yep.
he's coming back here. The
Back on the defense.
Syndicate's really got they've got him surrounded basically at this point.
Well, having the 4 tro pressure is pretty huge. Oh, there's one Warlock down. Yeah, having that surround is going to make it a little bit difficult for Vaalbara, I think. There's another Warlock exchange.
Yeah, Asmodean and Kirk are just duking it out.
Looks like Evil Jake will survive. And here we go. GKG went in. Took a few hits, but he managed to take out a lot of Demolition's Mercridia. Actually, I think that turned out pretty okay for GKG. Although they might exchange a tro here. Oh, he might lose 2. So it almost worked out for GKG. I think he just stuck around a little bit longer than he should have.
Yeah, they're very close, 92% to 90% with those Trow being damaged. So,
well, they took out one of Adrenaline's tro. So GKG is down to 2, although one of his tro is basically, if it takes any kind of damage at all, it'll turn to stone. Paris is trying to keep up the pressure, but he's taking a lot of javelins from the Solus.
Yeah, I'm worried about Vaalbara here. I mean, the Syndicate's got a nice advantage with all those Solus.
And actually, 83, 90%. I think Syndicate's doing a little bit better than it would indicate from the numbers because of GKG's almost dead tro. Ooh. Somebody lost a Warlock mid from Vaalbara. Fireball does go down, but only takes out, I think, 1 Solus.
There, Kirk and Asmodean just trade their Warlocks.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, in the mid.
Flag captured. Flag contested.
I mean, the pacing of this game is incredible. Like, the very intense conflict, and they clearly have this intention of splitting. I think Syndicate is trying to split up Vaalbara's center of gravity.
Well, they are split. They are split. GKG, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to prevent the surround by trying to out-surround the surround, kind of like a game of Go. He's trying to prevent the complete surround because that would just make it so you lose. Though another Warlock getting taken out.
And Vaalbara's going to be worried about flags here. Syndicate's almost got them. I mean, they've only got this center flag, this mid flag that they're holding on to.
Yeah, I think Rat King's doing a pretty good job with those Solus. He's been able to snipe a couple of those artillery units so far. But Demo needs to be careful. He might get something. Nope, looks like he's not able to get anything there.
What's GKG doing here? He's walking away with the Trow. He just went around the hill there.
I'm not sure where you're looking.
Oh, he's looping around mid.
Flag contested.
Yeah, I think he's trying to look for something to do, but I mean, he effectively really only has 1 tro, so he's not going to be very aggressive with that almost dead tro.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Kruniak on the tro duty here. You see, I mean, he's been dodging Solus this entire time, still taking hits.
Yeah, actually, Paris and Adrenaline are at about half health on all their tro. So yeah, there's a definite war of attrition happening here on those giant units with the Solus.
I'm assuming that GKG's just waiting for an attempt to get Kirk, which, I mean, it looks like he's gonna go for it here. Paris is gonna block him.
Yeah, well, Kirk also has a lot of Mercridia.
Oh my god.
He does fire up that. Oh, and he takes out both of those Tro. I think he's going to be okay. GKG's trying to take out that. He is going to be able to kill the. Oh, nice suicide from Kirk actually, before being taken out. But yeah, that was kind of a desperation move, just trying to suicide your units in an attempt to take out Kirk. And in the end,
Oh,
it
and as
almost worked,
Asmodean
but not really.
just flamed Arsenic's Solus.
Are you serious? How many Solus did he
Yeah,
kill?
only one, but still, I mean,
That's
I think
pretty
I
bad.
think
Pretty bad. Even if only one that's that takes out his mana, he's not able to fire any fireballs. Plus, it's kind of bad for morale. It's not a good look.
oh, demolition with a beautiful
Wow.
Warlock shot on the Solus.
Yeah. Poor Arsenic. He's in a tough position here. He needs to. He has what 7, 8 Solus. And he basically needs to carry his team at this point because there's just what 2 warlocks plus him. He's the only thing that can keep these Tro at bay.
Yeah, notice Paris is taunting him in the chat, saying, "Good work, Arsenic."
Flag captured.
Ooh, Garrick takes a little bit of damage. Oops. Arsenic does as well, but no casualties just yet. So actually, Akira's backing up Rat King.
Yeah, he's been doing great this whole game. I mean, I don't think he's lost any units.
Akira has so many Solus. He's basically guaranteeing the win here just by keeping those Solus alive. Although I have to wonder if the Syndicate could have done even better had he been engaged. He's kind of like far back. He's a little bit too far back to do much in this game. So I wonder if they had him kind of on the front line, so to speak, if they would have done even better.
Yeah, Paris and Kirk are going to end this game right here. I mean, because you'll notice he's coming across south to the last flag. Though, I mean, Vaalbara just retagged mid. Looks like Arsenic with a lone Mercuridia.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Although almost all those Solus, so GKG and Arsenic have almost lost everything there. Another Warlock being taken out. So yeah, their numbers are dwindling. They're hoping for a miracle in the south flag. Paris is here. I don't think he's going to engage these Mercuridia by himself. But Kirk is here as well. Kirk might have to tank that. And it's a dud, so yeah, this is almost a guarantee that they're going to... yeah, Paris needs to engage. There he goes. Now that they have the ability to take out the Mercuridia, they're going to take that flag no problem. And that might be it. That is it. Very convincing win here from the Syndicate, I have to say. So what do you think happened this game? Why did the Syndicate... What went right for them? What went wrong for Vaalbara?
Well, I mean, like we said at the outset, right? Like Rat King had a nice split, very very good trade, tight trade, and then GKG was like this hammer blow that he was setting up with himself and Kruniak. The old hammer and anvil strategy. I think he was going to try to play for, and the Syndicate just did not let him do that.
That's true. I mean, he did end up having to come back the way that he came, and so whatever he had plans, he had to just throw out the window and come up with a new strategy on the spot, which was, it seemed to be very defense heavy, playing around this flag, this mid flag, and I think they didn't have a very clear way to proceed, so they just ended up having to play a BC game, and I don't think that worked out for them very well.
Yeah, not with those splits. I mean, look at the damage on this map, right? I mean, it's entirely, you say, it's entirely concentrated on that mid flag that Vaalbara was defending, and they were just blasting the hell out of each other. But very clearly, Syndicate got the better of it.
Yeah, I think because their flank adrenaline was able to blast through the was it the north? Blast through the north.
Yeah, that's right. Him and Akira. were able to really keep GKG when he tried to loop back around and get outside there. They
So
shut him down.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking there's a case that could be made for momentum playing a role in this game. Because they had the forward momentum, and Vaalbara had kind of had the backward momentum, so to speak, where they had to nix their plans and then come back around and you know kind of backtrack where they wanted to be. I think they were prevented from playing the game that they had set out to play, as you alluded to already.
Yeah, I think right, and you could sense the frustration from Valbera's point of view with those trout fights. They kept like the when Paris and GKG were fighting each other, and he threw away all those tro, right? And then you saw the same thing happen in the North fight. Um, Kruniak doing a better job, I think, was able to hold in there a lot longer. But you could definitely sense the frustration.
Yeah, I think GKG did get a little frustrated that game. He was trying to make things happen because he realized his team wasn't going to make anything happen on their own, so it was sort of up to him. But he just didn't really have the tools that he needed to make a big play. He tried to make a big play, and he ended up, I don't want to say throwing away what he had, but it was sort of like a suicide mission. And where he wasn't going to come away with any survivors, and it it,
Yeah.
it kind of wasn't worth it.
On the other hand, though, I'm wondering what do you think? Do you think his initial plan could have worked, right? Because he set up with that big, those two the Kruniak and GKG cameras. Do you think he could have pulled it off?
I mean, had it, if it had worked out differently, if there was a different trade, if there was different positioning from the other opposing team, who knows what could have happened? It could have worked out to their advantage if he didn't have to come back across the river the way he came. Set up they didn't have optimal positioning at that point. Even though they had the benefit of having this hill mid, the Syndicate weren't they're not stupid enough to play in a way where they're giving up the advantage they have to units on the high ground. Um,
I think that's right. They're smart players. Absolutely.
so they used the fact that Vaalbara was relegated to playing around this hill to their advantage because Vaalbara wasn't really able to move away from this position without exposing themselves, and Syndicate basically had the entire map to move around at that point. Whereas Vaalbara was pretty much glued to this position here.
Yeah, I think it's a classic case of the wrong trade for the game type that Syndicate wanted to play. I mean, Asmodean's team just didn't have the numbers they needed when they got stuck in that hill position.
Well, what could they have traded for that could have helped them there? Just more Solus? I mean, it seemed like the Solus actually paid dividends this game. Although, let me see here. How did Akira do? He only had 16 damage. So he had all that Solus just sitting on the back burner. They weren't even put to use. So Syndicate won despite the fact that they had a huge Solus. But having said that, Akira's that Solus pack that he had might have had a psychological effect on Vaalbara, preventing them from, you know, playing more aggressively with their Tro.
Well, I'm thinking about that Solus for sure because look at Arsenic's numbers, right? Him and Limp were doing some of the soul work for Vaalbara, and they're posting pretty good, damage figures there, especially Arsenic. But I mean, I presume he must have had some Recruiter signed in there as well. I just feel like they could have got more out of that the better Solus trade maybe.
Well, Rat King had the Solus for his team, and he did pretty good. He didn't have as high damage numbers as Arsenic or Limp. Well, actually, he had higher damage than Limp, but I don't know if Limp all he had was Solus. Um, I think maybe that those got maybe parsed later on and split after because if you remember, the strategy for Vaalbara coming into it was everybody had just a handful of units except for GKG and Kruniak.
That's right. So they might have traded out a little more, handed out
Right.
some more spares a bit
Yeah,
later.
so as they lost units, they would get more units from whatever was left. But I think there was a different strategy for the Syndicate there, where everybody had a set role, and it wasn't so ad hoc.
Yeah, it definitely felt more balanced. I'm just again with these numbers, you'll notice like Kruniak didn't lose a unit according to this.
Let me see here. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's he only had two tro. Yeah, and GKG had three. That's right. And he managed to
And
hold on to his tro, but he had what? He only had one kill, so he didn't really. He played very passively this game.
yeah, compare that to Adrenaline, that was doing most of the trial work for the Syndicate. One loss, 4 kills, mainly again Tro, but pretty big numbers there.
Yeah, 46 damage is compared to he had twice as many tro. If you remember, he had four to Kruniak's two.
Yeah, think about that Trow split. That might have been another mistake for the Vaalbara, right? They should because they would have been able to see that on the percentage figures when they were trading. That Adrenaline had like 28% or something like that, right?
Perhaps, but I'm not sure if they put that, because having one person handle four tro is not standard as far as I can remember. I think that the three tro, two tro split is more standard, at least in competitive play, because it's a little bit safer. Having some four tro on one person's a little bit more risky, since wherever they're not, you're going to be vulnerable. Um,
Hey, that just speaks to the Syndicate style, right? It's their unorthodox team.
but perhaps they didn't put two and two together because they thought maybe he had Mercuridia on top of the Tro, or I'm not really sure. It's possible that despite seeing the percentages, they didn't conclude that he had four Tro based on that. But
Well, or yeah, Kruniak and GKG might have thought they could block him.
yeah, it's tough to say. But I have to say I think what ended up happening in this game was Syndicate had to play Vaalbara was forced to play a BC game instead of the game, a territories game. And I think Syndicate had a slight edge there.
Definitely talk about momentum. This is gonna put Vaalbara. They're gonna be. We'll see what happens in the next game.
The edge, I think, came a lot from Kirk. If we can look at the numbers really quick, he had the highest damage on his team, and I think that's why GKG threw himself at Kirk to try to take him out, because he
Ah,
recognized that a lot of what was happening was due to Kirk. A lot of the Syndicate staying competitive and actually uh, sniping a lot of those sensitive units and whatnot, probably coming from Kirk there, exploiting his skills. So I think maybe perhaps he recognized that and he tried to deal with it, and ended up sacrificing a lot of his the major units that were left to do so.
yeah, it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. But I mean,
But
Kirk
that's
definitely coming out of retirement for this. Pretty impressive.
I mean, we can't shortchange GKG too much because he had 82 damage, which is the most in the game of anybody. He had more damage than anybody playing. But you know, he did have perhaps more units than anybody playing in the game as well. So it's one of those things where it's hard to it's kind of hard to analyze.
And numbers don't tell the whole story.
It's true. But having said that, I do want to point out that Demolition did really well, and I'm not really sure what he had. But despite not having Tro, he posted really high numbers.
Well, he's holding on to a Mortardorf right now, so he must have had some artillery at least.
Where is it? Is it this? Yeah, there's 0 kills on his Mortardorf though, so I'm kind of curious where his kills came from.
Yeah, maybe clumped Mercridia or some Solus. Damage. It all adds up.
It's true, he might have had a nice a couple of nice shots that actually didn't kill anybody. But yeah. All right, well, that'll wrap up the first game. Syndicate's going to be up 1 game to 0 for this first round of games between the two finalists for this year's Winter Series. And yeah, that'll be for game 1, and let's see you in game 2.
I'm sorry, man, but your quarter's used up.